FilmTalkies0.com. The film begins by showing us May Bis when she was little. Her father, Dracula, begins to sing a song. And then they fly to the hotel, Transylvania, where we can see that she is. The grand opening. We started to see that Maybe liked it a lot to be with her father, and that always they were together until the day they met. Married Johnny. We go to the present and we see that it is the 125th anniversary. From the hotel all the freaks begin to applaud to congratulate him, and we found out that Johnny was the responsible for planning the party. We begin to see all the ideas that are happened to Johnny for him anniversary, but we see that things are get out of control, so Dracula intervenes to stop the disaster and be able to prevent an accident. To what you saw me, he says that I don't even know. Worked hard to plan the party, and that was special to him. She says she loves to Johnny and that she would not change anything now, which is perfect for her. After Dracula returns everyone to normal, and he says midnight he will make an announcement. Very important. Dracula leaves the party and meets with Erica. Babies begins to listen to his conversation and find out that her father plans to retire due to that he wants to spend more time with Erica after, and he tells Johnny that her father will retire and that they will take care of the hotel, so I don't even. He is very happy about the news. We go with Dracula and meet sealing his farewell speech. But suddenly Johnny arrives and we see that he is still very excited by the news. Dracula begins to imagine what the hotel run by Johnny, so he changes his mind because he thinks they are going to ruin it. After Dracula, he says he can't deliver the hotel because there is a law that prohibits humans own the properties, to which I do not even ask. What was the real ad? Dracula say. He gets nervous and starts thinking about a lie. Dracula tells everyone that he plans to expand the hotel and that they will add a new bathroom in the lobby. For what Maybe gets sad, since that was not what she had heard, while that Johnny is sad since he says it was his fault. After John and he meets Van Helsing in his lab and start walking all over the place in search of a machine which serves to turn humans into mons. Johnny asks if he is sure, so they test it on a guinea pig and we see that he becomes a great monster. Then Van Helsing throws the ray to Johnny and we see that he begins to transform into a kind of dragon. We return to the party and see that Dracula, she is hiding from his daughter, but he suddenly heard a noise and went to see what is. Dracula, I entered the laboratory of Van Helsing and we see for the first time the Jong's transformation, and he tells him that he can drop you off at the hotel, and then he looks excited to see Maybe, so Dracula grabs the machine and starts to chase Johnny back to the normal. Dracula misses the shots and converts to a zombie into human, but he is bitten and turned back. Dracula says that he must be careful, but we see that he fires the beam and hits the statue of ice, which turns water into a potion, while Johnny continues running and meets his son, by what Dracula uses his powers for hypnotize them and make them forget what happened. Then Johnny slips and starts to go up the elevator. Dracula goes up the top floor and use the machine, but the shot giving itself himself, so he starts to fall. As long as he transforms into a human, Johnny jumps off the building to save Dracula, but we see that he doesn't get it anymore. That Dracula was hooked above a building suddenly breaks cape and Dracula begins to fall, but it is saved by the mummy, his friends. They are surprised since they see Dracula become a human after it begins to look for the machine to return to the normal, but we realize that it doesn't work anymore. Johnny runs away. But Dracula begins to pretend that he knows. He feels bad to stop him and take him. With Van Helsing suddenly comes to May. Bis and the monsters tell him they haven't seen his father while in the Van Helsing laboratory tells them that the glass shattered after activates the machine to bring up a map with the location of another crystal which found in a jungle in South America. Johnny tells Dracula that he will help him to return to normal. To what? Dracula tells him not to tell him babies. To make it a trip just for the two of them. We return to the party and see that their friends drink from the water that the shot, so they too begin to turn into humans and stop being monsters. Suddenly we see that blob and it transforms in a jelly, so they know. Scared we go to a plane and see that they are on their way to South America. But Dracula is scared because the plane is in very bad conditions. While he tells me I entered to his father's room and meets the note of the true speech, so that he realizes that his father changed. Idea we go to the airport and see that Dracula is scared by the sun. To what I? Nor does he tell him that he is a human and that he does not. It hurts, so Dracula starts it to stare, which causes burn his eyes, and that he almost has a accident because he can't see anything. But he is saved by John, and then Johnny wants to order a taxi but by accident throws fire and causes a great accident. We return to Hotel Transylvania and we see that the guinea pig manages to release, and that becomes even more great. We go to the jungle and see that Dracula and Johnny continue on their way inside a truck, but they realize they go very slowly since I don't even weigh too much, so he decides to brake the vehicle and then runs off to great speed. While in hotel, his friends walk trying not to. They see them, but we see that they are discovered for their families, who they ask what they did, but suddenly the news comes out of Dracula with Johnny. To what? The mummy gives them away by accident. We return to the jungle and continue on their way in looking for the crystal. We begin to see that during the trip they pass through many places where Dracula suffers a lot for suddenly having a human body. We see you reach a waterfall, so that Dracula gets happy and then he jumps into the water, but we see that he was full of piranhas, to which I neither tells him that he should be careful. We're leaving to the hotel and we see that in the laboratory Van Helsing finds himself fighting against the guinea pig. Discounts that the transformed continue to mutate and over time they lose control. What they decide, they will go to South America to be able to help them. We begin to see that they are already in I walk with all the other monsters, and we see that Frankenstein likes Erica. Tells maybe that she is worried about Dracula and that she hopes that is well they manage to reach South America, and maybe you get the idea to get off the ship and continue with the search from the ground after maybe say transform into a bat and use his sensory sense to be able to find the location of him while they continue on their way. But suddenly the machine breaks down because they found too high. They start to fight, so they fall off the mountain and they realize that Johnny, he has wings with which he manages to fly, and they manage to save themselves from the fall at night. And we see that they made a fire so as not to be in the dark. Dracula, you gave Johnny, it wasn't easy raising alone a Mavis, and that he created the hotel to be able to protect her. Suddenly we see that they were found and they are happy that your friends are safe. Show up in their human form and Dracula tells them that he doesn't understand what. It happens. I don't even tell her maybe that she decided. Be transformed by law into what? Dracula tells them that she was just a lie and that it was all his fault, so that I don't even get sad. I think he was really telling the truth. Which causes Johnny to start mutate and leave the place since he lost control, so I ibis him. Claims his father because I just wanted to be part of the family. Then he dedicates himself, explains to Dracula. Make mutations and go on. I walk in search of the crystal. Return everything to normal while that maybe he is looking for Johnny. And we see that he became a monster. Giant who loses control due to which Mavis mentioned Dracula. We return with the monsters and they get to the place where the glass suddenly start falling down. A waterfall which directs them towards a cave with underwater volcanoes. After they manage to reach the last passage and Dracula begins to cross it, where we can see that it is a cave full of crystals. While Johnny continues outside control and tell maybe that they found the crystal cave. We begin to see what they find. Looking for the crystal, but suddenly separate due to the reflection of the crystals. We return with babies and it is being chased by Johnny, which continues to mutate. Davis arrives at the cave, the crystals, and meets his father. Suddenly place begins to be destroyed because Johnny lost the control. We began to see that the cave begins to collapse, so the monsters start running in search of an exit. Dracula manages to find the crystal. For what you did to me, he goes on way through it, then inserts it into the machine and tries to throw lightning at Johnny, but she is damaged by sunlight. In that, Frankenstein manages to save her and they begin to help so that he does not hit him. Sunlight after maybe it gets shoot the ray, but we see that no, it worked, so Dracula is about to. Johnny is trapped by the Dracula. Begins to apologize and tells him that thanks to him happiness came to them and that he is also part of the family. Dracula's words cause Johnny back to normal, and now the machine, if it works on it, then they go back and we see that the monsters, they returned to normal. Dracula is about to deliver them the hotel, but suddenly they realize that was destroyed by the guinea pig. So Dracula gets angry and uses the machine to return to normal. After the cue, he gives them the key and says they rebuild it like them. What a year passes and we see that the hotel was rebuilt and that it's great reopening. As the final scene, we can see the new things in the hotel and all implementations given. Did they end the movie? No. Forget to subscribe and leave a like and comment that more movies I would like to see on the channel. I greet you. This video are for Daniel Green and Nicole, Isabella, Antonio, Alexis, and for this man. Do not forget to comment those who want come out in the next video. Thanks for your time. Subscribe my channel.